An AEW star is ready to leave the company amid a prolonged hiatus. Plus, a SmackDown star has officially moved to Raw. And we have a big old update on WWE Wrestlepalooza. It's all in the Cultaholic Wrestling news right now. AEW hasn't been very evil in some time. Danhausen has been conspicuous by his absence. He kind of pops up once in a blue moon, puts a curse on someone and then goes. It's just a strange relationship that they have. Interesting report from Fightful Select that kind of got an update on Danhausen's situation with AEW, but gives us a little bit more to that as well.
Yeah, Fightful are told by AEW sources that Danhausen's contract would have been up on July the 1st. However, there were months added to Danhausen's contract that take it well into 2026. It was believed that Danhausen had requested they not pick up the option, but that he was ready to leave the company after barely being used over the last couple of years. There has been no creative plans for Danhausen as of late.
They've done nothing with him for all this time, and then he's come to the end of, like, a natural end of the contract, and they're going, yeah, we want to keep you for a bit longer to do nothing with for more time.
Is this a case of injury time, Tom?
It could possibly be injury time, but it was one of those things where it says that they picked up his option, which suggests to me that when you sign the contract, you have the option to stay on a little bit longer, or if it's not working, then cut ties. But Danhausen's the one going, look, you're not using me, I'm ready to go. Because Danhausen, no doubt, whilst he hasn't been on television, he has kept his stock very high, and he's keen to get out there and do more again, but he's limited. And then it's just a strange situation to go, we're not using you, we've got no creative plans for you. Oh, but we're going to keep you till early next year.
They must have heard NXT are interested. If there's one place he would fit in well, it's the NXT shed.
Do you think maybe this might be what this comes down to going forward? Because you hear of WWE kind of putting people to one side and then not using them at risk of them going off and doing other things. Maybe it's the case with Danhausen, where they just go, no, we're just going to keep you here a bit longer.
Yeah, it just seems like the industry standard now, doesn't it? There's just, if you have a little bit of time off, it gets added to the end of your deal. What can you do? I don't think it's right, personally, especially in the case of Danhausen, where you're not going to get used. But the same could be said for numerous names in the WWE who have been in the same sort of shoes.
Omos, what? Sorry. Mind you saying that, Omos and Microman are about to become the greatest tag team of all time. So who am I to say? Meanwhile, in the world of WWE, we saw Sami Zayn move to SmackDown. He announced his move to the blue brand on Friday night. It feels like it's a bit of a swapperoo because we got someone new on the red one.
That's his catchphrase, everybody. Telling nice.
That's Vic Reeves doing mulligan and no hair. Yeah, very violent. Our alibis are intact.
I've said it makes sense, of course, because he's in that four-way for the World Heavyweight title in Clash in Paris, and now he's on Monday Night Raw, as was announced last night.
Yeah, he's moved to the website, to the roster page on the website now, so now he's officially on Raw. And I remember hearing something earlier in the year about Netflix execs really liking LA Knight and wanting him on Monday night. And I think this is probably that whim finally coming to fruition. It's one of those things where it's by the whole joy of the draft when they do it, which I don't think they're doing it. I don't think we're getting a draft this year.
We'll get one, but it doesn't really have the most ironclad rules anymore, does it?
No, I just think it'll just be a case of they'll just shuffle people around whenever they need to. But I think that it's one of those things where something old is new again, where LA Knight has kind of run its course on SmackDown, but on Raw, there's a whole new world of opportunities, a whole new load of opponents, and he's in the mix for the world title, and I think it freshens up a talent when you do that. So it's no hard. I wouldn't mind if we don't get drafts again. That's fine. But if we get the option every so often to take one guy or one female performer who's kind of done everything on one brand, pop them on the other, freshen them up again.
Yeah,
that's what it's.
Not backing themselves into a corner, are they? Because Sammy was in a bit of a corner after obviously the whole Karrion Kross situation. That was his big feud. Yes, the feud was probably over after SummerSlam, but that was his guy, wasn't it, for months?
Yeah, that was it. And then all of a sudden you go, now what do we do? And like the world title scene's so crowded on Raw, let's just go and do something else on a different show. And that's what they're doing. NXT tonight is in Philadelphia, and we're going to kick off the NXT broadcast tonight in grand style. Over to our NXT correspondent Ross Tweddle to tell us more.
Yoshiki Inamura versus JB, big old Josh Briggs. Josh Briggs tried to make Inamura go to the dark side. Inamura fights with honor. He says, no, JB, I don't like your leather jacket. I don't like your accommodation. I'm going to continue to fight with honor, sir. So they're going to have a big old Donnybrook tonight. Not in the shed, but in Philadelphia.
But this surely won't be a fight with honor if it's a street fight in Philadelphia.
He will fight with honor, Mr. Inamura. You watch, Tom. He'll find a way. There's no other way with him. It's honor or nothing.
What if he decides this is the night where he has dishonor? And
he wouldn't do that.
He wouldn't do that.
He's not a liar. He's the one wrestler who's not a liar.
He's the only wrestler that doesn't lie.
However, if he did go to the dark side, one guy who would deserve it is JB for trying to pollute his mind with the poison. The poison.
Naughty boy. Fightful Select also saying that Joe Hendry is in Philadelphia. It's like the Zoom. We're doing a Zoom meeting. It's Joe Hendry's in Philadelphia tonight. He was there last night, I think, according to Fightful. So he's going to be on the show tonight. He's in the midst of a thing with Charlie Dempsey at the moment.
I think he's a bit smitten with that. That's easy for me to say. I think he is a bit smitten with Ren Sinclair. Or maybe Ren fancies a bit of Joe. Because I was watching that match last week with Charlie and Joe, and I was thinking Ren fancies, she believes. So she does. So I reckon he could be getting in relationships on camera. I ship them, Tom.
In NXT, the horniest promotion on the planet.
The place that had herpes in the ring a few years ago.
Oh my God, that was a thing that Mandy Rose said this weekend, wasn't it? It was like there was an outbreak of herpes. Like, of
They
course,
had to clean the ring mats because there was herpes everywhere.
Oh, it's made me feel a bit give up. Of course it was NXT. Of course it was NXT.
I should say that's just an on-camera relationship with Ren Sinclair and Joe Hendry.
It's on camera, but we all know how horny NXT is off camera. They're horny on main and they're horny behind the scenes as well. WWE are presenting Wrestlepalooza in September, which is the old ECW show. You guys talked about it yesterday. I think of all the names you could have picked, I could have given you 100 pay-per-view names before choosing Wrestlepalooza for WWE's show in September. Guilty as Charged, Living Dangerously, Capital Carnage, Mayhem in Manchester, No Mercy, No Way Out, Slamboree, Slamfest.
We'll be here all day.
Starcade. They're going with Wrestlepalooza for reasons. PW Insider says the belief within ESPN is that an announcement is going to be made tomorrow about the Wrestlepalooza event, because this hasn't been made official yet. The plan is there's going to be an announcement tomorrow. And there's also a suggestion from The Observer that this is actually going to air on ESPN's new streaming platform.
To show what it looks like come the spring of 2026.
Yeah, so the new deal doesn't start yet, but this is kind of a floating PLE that I guess Netflix didn't originally sign up for. It could put it on YouTube, they could put it on Netflix, but they're going, you know what, why don't we use this to showcase this new streaming platform, get some early signups for the ESPN streaming platform, which starts on Thursday, and put it on there, I guess. And it's and this will be the show that runs up against AEW All Out, so I think it's certainly a powerful streaming service to put it on as well, especially if it's headlined by John Cena versus Brock Lesnar. What a weird time though to go Wrestlepalooza headlined by John Cena versus Brock Lesnar. That's like my EWR booking gone really weird. Interesting. I mean, with that in mind, how do you think that changes it for obviously this competitive night on the 20th of September?
In what way?
Is this going to lean it more towards WWE because they're putting more focus on this new platform? Is it going to go more towards the favor of AEW because it's platforms that people have already signed up for?
It's an interesting one because obviously you're going to have to part with even more money if you now sign up for the ESPN thing.
Exactly.
Or is it just going to be a standalone thing that's like, here's a teaser of what it's going to be, we won't charge you until next year? I would assume not. Because it's capitalism.
That's what we do, baby.
So it's an interesting one, because obviously I assume a lot of people have got their plans in place now for AEW All Out in terms of watching it on the television screens. Is this Johnny Come Lately gonna do it? Who knows?
I don't know. Wherever you watch the wrestling on Twitch tonight, you can watch WCPW.
Loaded episode 3. No idea what's coming up, haven't checked it out, but one thing you can guarantee is that myself and Simon Miller will look like a pair of arseholes.
You both look lovely. I know what you're talking about. You're both sick guys. For the very latest wrestling news at any time, you can check out Cultaholic.com. I think you cringing at yourself is just the deepest of joys.
Why did they have me doing this stuff, Tom? It has nothing to do with anything.
Because you're a sick guy.
Yeah, I was. Not anymore. 33.
Love you, bye.